friends, how are you? So it's time for real talk because this is an issue that has been bothering me lately. So let's talk about it. Anyway, and it's what I'm going to call institutional victimization. So, which is kind of serious, but here we go. So recently in the news, the University of Illinois women's basketball team, several members have left the team and they are filing a lawsuit claiming racial discrimination and harassment. And the initial response from people has been kind of negative and this thought of disbelief, which is really problematic. So I can't imagine anybody that would make a claim of discrimination or any type of assault or wrongdoing against them for their own personal gain, so by people not believing them, I think that causes an even greater problem, especially for women. Like that happens a lot with rape victims or any type of situation. The thought is, oh, well, you must be making that up. That can't be true. What's your proof and all that kind of stuff, which I think is really problematic because it serves to just further discredit them and further victimize these people who are really just trying to come forward and get some sense of justice or right in a situation. So the issue currently that the university is facing is that these former players are saying that they were mistreated for various reasons or whatever. And so I think, especially in the case of athletes and things of that nature, the worst thing that we as a community or as a university can do is to not believe these people, is to sort of cover it up and hide it, because that leads to greater problems. I mean, I think the initial response should be to totally believe these people and not even ask for any proof or whatever. I mean, that can sort of get worked out later, all of the details of things, because if you don't, it just sort of furthers this atmosphere and this community and environment where you're continuing to make things worse. I mean, that's what happened in Penn State. There were multiple times where people could have intervened or stopped something, but the thought was, let's sort of keep this internal and not make a big fuss about it. And then that's why you have huge problems or arise, like what did happen in Penn State. So I think, and that happens in all sorts of things, just today. So Bill Cosby admitted, yes, okay, I did assault these women. And it took him admitting it for people to be like, oh, okay, it must have been true then. Because we couldn't just believe the countless women and their side of the story. He had to admit it for people to be like, oh, it must be true then. That's totally messed up in my mind. It's hard enough to come forward and say, this is a traumatic experience that happened to me, but to have somebody not believe you is worse. Why should, if something happened and you say it, then that's all you need to say. I think the words, I believe you, are incredibly, nothing can right any of these wrongs or, you can't ever take away something bad that's happened, but the validation of just saying, okay, I believe you, and that's all I need to know, that's very powerful. And so in these situations where you're constantly questioning, and I do think that it's a gendered thing, we have to question women because they're just hysterical or making up lies or stories or trying to get attention. I might want to get attention, but certainly not by coming up with some story of assault or attack. That's not, there's nothing that you can gain from that. So I think, it furthers it furthers this rape culture of, we live in a society where certain people are valued and certain people are not. And so by just dismissing people's stories or not believing them, like what I said, it institutionally re-victimizes these people by discrediting them completely. And I think that that's a real problem that we all need to work on. I don't have an answer or a solution, but it bothers me that, these things come up and people's thoughts are, oh, well, they must be making it up, or that's crazy, or we need to get all this proof. I think the idea of innocent until proven guilty is a little bit problematic because the burden of proof is sort of on the victim itself to sort of, have all this or whatever. I don't know. But as a society, I think that it is wrong to automatically assume that something is not true, and to hold certain people to different standards or you know, assume that they're untouchable because of their status within society. So I don't know, I'm having a bit of a rant, but I think that something needs to be done in terms of if somebody comes forward with something, believe them and then support them, not sort of try to cover it up or ask them to provide all this other stuff. Like, that's a problem that we have as a society, and these like things are in place to sort of protect people that are, it's kind of wrong. So I don't know what can be done about it, but I think that something should be done. And what I can do, like as an individual, is if somebody tells me something, I'm going to believe them, and I'm not going to question their motives or their authenticity or their reasons for saying something, because I can't imagine a false reason to come up with a report or something. So as a society, I think we should just believe like these people and try to make positive change for that, because otherwise it's just this cycle of, I mean, nobody's ever going to come forward if they see that they get attacked further. So I don't know, that's my thoughts on that. So I will link to the article from CNN that has more details about what's going on at the University of Illinois in case anybody cared. But I think that it's very important at this point that those people who are seen to be in authority do support the people who are victims at this time, because, I mean, whether or not, whatever comes out in the future about what's true, not true, it takes a lot of strength to sort of come forward in the first place. So props to these ladies for reporting wrong. So, they shouldn't further be put into questions or whatever for doing so. So that is my thoughts on that. A bit of a real talk, because it bothers me that the automatic assumption is to distrust these people or think that they have some wrong motive. So yes, anyway, used a lot of big words, but I hope that you all had a very good day, and let me know what you think. If this kind of situation happens, or, if I'm totally off base here, let me know. But I hope that you all had a great day, and I will see you later.